Hey guys, welcome to another week. I hope you guys had a very great weekend. So there's a lot of beautiful opportunities in the market this week, and definitely the first thing we want to do is to review, one of the trades we have from last week, which is the Usdcad. Make sense with things, and have a new week projection of how we expect things to, go upon confirmation, keyword upon confirmation, because as traders, we react. We don't, trade based on how we feel the market should do. So now let's take a quick recap to what we discussed last week on this pair, and let's see what price has done so far. So last week we said we expected a retracement before a continuation to the downside, right? And we have three levels of resistance. We have the first one right on this level, I think we have the second right on this level, and definitely we have one final one right on this level, which is where price is sitting out right now. And what did we say? We said all we wanted was a lower time frame entry confirmation to see how price is going to behave when price gets to this level. So let's look at what price has done, right? When price gets to this resistance level, do we have the rejection that we waited for, right? We have the rejection, but did it break the last low right here? No, it didn't break the last low before it started to move to the upside. So what does that mean? No confirmation for us. That means no trade for us, right? When price got to this level, price actually made a push downside, which is a fake out, right? It couldn't break this last low, which means no trade for us, right? And price is now on the final resistance level, rejecting this final resistance level, and it's giving us some kind of information now, which is the basis upon which we're going to benchmark our new week analysis on. So what do we do in situations like this? Let's take things down, because we might be having what we're waiting out for this new week. And again, we have the final week of the month of March, which the market is always impulsive, in times like this. So let's take things down, let's understand things, and let's make things a little bit more clear. So let's take things to the bigger time frame. Let's take things to the bigger time frame, and see what price is actually doing. So now back to the monthly time frame. What do we have right here, right? Definitely from our analysis last week, we said price broke this key mid-range zone, and after price broke this key mid-range zone, what do we have right here? We have a consolidation in game. After the consolidation, the price started to make a further push to the downside, right? And definitely, which was the basis for our bearish bias, right? So let's take things to the weekly time frame to amplify what price has been doing, right? So what has price been doing, right? To amplify things further, we can see things clearly right now. Now this was the last low the price broke. After a very strong candlestick break to this downside, we can see an exhaustion. We can see a further push and exhaustion, push, exhaustion, and so apparently price has been on a push and exhaustion cycle, right? Ever since price had actually, broken the zone. So what do we have this week? So now let's start to make sense with the information that we have from the close of last week. So we have the last week candle right on this level. After price made this push, you can see the exhaustion. So last week and 2 weeks ago were actually key exhaustion candles, for the market. So number one, we are seeing something really interesting, which is number one, we have price making a move like this, right? We have price making a move like this, right? So what is this move, right? We can see the previous area of support. After price broke all of this zone to the downside, we see a previous area of support turning a resistance, which is noted, right? First key information, right? So that means if this week candle could open, it could end up closing as a confirmation for like more push to the downside, right? So we're literally gonna have a traditional case of push, right? Exhaustion back to the previous area of support, and further push confirmation to the downside, right? That's number one that we can see, right? Number two thing that we can see right here is the price is rejecting this key Fibonacci level, right? From the last phase of the push, right? Price is making an exhaustion right now, and we can see, a rejection at the key 61.8 level. So we can actually map this key 61.8 level right out so that we can make sense with it on the daily time frame. So let's get to the daily time frame. Let's see what price has been doing on the daily time frame so far, right? So on the daily time frame, what do we see, right? We see that price, we actually have two confirmation right here. We have the weekly area of support turning resistance and the weekly Fibonacci rejection, which is a double resistance that could be in game, right? So on the daily time frame, what can we see right here? The only information we could get out of daily time frame is the fact that after price has broken this level and made the exhaustion to this level, we can actually see that we have a downward trend line, right? So a downward trend line, which also means a diagonal resistance for us. So in this case, the downward trend line is acting like a diagonal resistance. So now this is getting interesting, right? Because we're having like three resistances now. We have an area of support on the resistance, which is the horizontal support on the resistance. That's number one. We have the Fibonacci resistance. Number three, we have the trend line resistance. So we have And apart from that, we have price, trying to obey, the lower high structure. So what does it mean? If this key level right here, if this key level right here will actually hold for us, that means we could be having the continuation of push, definitely to the downside. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, let's take things to the, lower time frame to amplify things better. But now we are leaning more to the fact the price may be rejecting around this level. But of course, our feelings doesn't matter, right? We react to whatever the market does. And of course, we have to wait for the market to give us an indication before we get into the market, right? So let's get to the 4 hours time frame. So the 4 hours time frame, what can we see right on this level? So let me make sense with the trend line. Let me make sense with the trend line, and definitely let's get everything rolling. Right. So on the 4 hours time frame, what do we see right on this level? Let me take this off, right? Since we got this one again, right? So on the 4 hours time frame, what do we see the prices doing, right? Apart from the fact the price has found a diagonal resistance, a horizontal support on resistance, a Fibonacci resistance, which is 3 confirmations already that price could be rejecting right on this level. Now, what is price actually doing? Now, let's make sense of things, right? On the 4 hours time frame, we want to be able to draw out the counter trend, right? Counter trend, right? The retracement trend line, right? So now, let me make this bigger so that we can see. So paying attention to details right now, we can actually see that after price got to this level, of course, you can see the previous area of support that got broken, which respected back. So after price got to that key level, what the price start to do, right? Very easy. Price started to move right on a retracement structure. This retracement structure got broken right on this level, which we can consider this to be the 4th confirmation. This could be considered as the 4th confirmation. Why? Because previous area, this is a traditional example of price following a steep trend line. You can see touch 1, touch 2, touch 3, price got broken, and now price is retesting this trend line to turning it into a resistance. So we have 4 confirmation, right? The 4 hours, we can see a confirmation right on this level, right? So what does it mean? That if we could find even more confirmation on the lower time frame, that means this prices could actually be leaning towards the downside. Now, then apart from that, if you pay attention to details, you can see that after price started to make the exception move to the upside, you can see that price has been moving on a higher low, then until it broke right on this level. And right now, price is actually respecting the key Fibonacci resistance right here, the 4 hours Fibonacci, which is, we can consider this to be the 5th confirmation. Right. So now, what do we know right now? What do we know right now is, let's take the prices down to the lower time frame, and let's see what price is doing so that we can get a confirmation or a full picture of what is happening, so that we can get a quality confirmation. Right. Remember, as traders, we react to what price information the price is giving us. We don't speculate. We don't assume the price is going to do this, because we're not in control of the price. We only wait for price to open up opportunities for us to get into the market. So now, that being said, if we could be finding, remember, we have 5 confirmation that this level is a very strong level of rejection already, from the diagonal resistance to the horizontal support on resistance on the weekly time frame, to the Fibonacci, and to the 4 hours. To the 4 hours break of this counter trending and the retest, right? So all of this. So we have been like 5 confirmation plus the 4 hours 61.8 Fibonacci rejection right on this key level. So that being said, so we are establishing the fact the price could be rejecting on this level, right? And if price should be rejecting on this level, definitely we should be looking at this level, to take our profits, right? We should be looking at this exactly this level to take our profit. So now, looking at this level to take a profit for TP1, then for people that want to swing further, that doesn't care, right? This is definitely going to be like TP2, area for people to take the profit, right? So, but now we don't have an entry confirmation right here. If we should execute based on this information we have, then that means we're doing something wrong, right? Because definitely all the information we need is not complete. We still need a real-time entry information, which is the reason why we're going to lower things down to the 1 hour time frame to find our entry confirmation, right? So now, getting to the 1 hour time frame, what do we have right here? We have the trend line right here. Let's correct it. You can see the trend line right here. Right. So apart from the trend line right here, what do we have right here? So let's make sense with the retracement structure, right? So you guys are gonna agree with me that after price started to reject right on this key level, you can see the price actually made its first low right on this level. it actually started to make a first low right on this key level. So we have the first low right on this level. Then of course we have the next low right on this key level. So now we are establishing. Now, this is now when we are establishing our parameters for our confirmation. You can see, number one, we've actually made sense with key confirmation. We are key zones of resistance. Now, we're actually trying to make sense with, our key confirmation parameters, which is what we're weighing out for, which is what every good trader should be able to do. So now that we have this, right, we have the first low, put it on the line chart to understand things better. You can see the first higher low right here, the second higher low right here. Now, after price got to this higher low was when price broke this key level and retesting it now, and we said that we could be having a very strong key resistance zone right on this level, which is our probable area for price to actually reject right on this level for continuation of push to the overall downside. So now, having that been said, we could be having we could see our key Fibonacci level properly right on this level, and price rejecting this key Fibonacci level right on this point. So we have 61.8 rejection right on this level. So now what do we have? What we have now makes sense, and it's now very simple. Now, for us to be able to enter this trade, we need to look out for the break of this particular low right here. So looking out for this low. So what is going to be our entry confirmation? We're waiting for price to actually make the break of this level. If we can find a break of this level, we're going to have a candlestick retest right on this level. Then boom, we can be having our first trade, to this level, which is going to be about, price rejecting at this level is going to give us about, for price to be able to break, we can leave it up at 30 pips, right? And we could go as much as 74 pips right on this level, which is about very good 1:2. So this is what our first trade is going to look like. Short-term trade is going to look like, right? For people that want to ride the swing, definitely we're going to be looking at opportunity to even go down, right? But the manner of trade is actually different. So for we that have been swinging for a long time, that we're still going down, definitely we're still going down to as much as this level. We're going to be holding it even more for weeks, right? But then I'm not going to advise you to do that. I'm only going to advise you, to take a profit while you say it, right? So we have this for TP1, for TP2. Now, for people that want to trade TP2, it won't just it's not just going to move directly like that. We could be having a situation that after TP1 got it, we could be having a rejection right back to this level, before we have to keep push to the downside. So I think what really matters right here is how you choose to manage the trade, right? If you execute your trade right on this level and want to take your profit right on this level, this is going to be a very, straight one, right? If you wait for confirmation, maybe after taking profit, you wait for what price is going to do. Most likely, we could be having a situation whereby price is going to, make a retracement before we move to the downside. But whichever way price play, this is a TP1 level, TP2 level. It's all left on pattern management, which we actually don't advise for that, right? What we actually do, right, is to show you what the price should do the new week, and definitely for everyone to take advantage of that if they want to take advantage of that. So now we have a TP1 level. We have a TP1 level right on this point, right? And provided that we see, depending on what price does, of course, after taking our profit or managing our profit or even moving our stop loss tighter, we want to see if price is going to break this level. So price is going to go on TP1, right? We can be looking at the at about, we're risking as much as like 32 pips of the price to be able to breathe, and trying to make sense with about 75 pips, which is over 1:2, which is a very nice trade, right? If we're going to be looking to TP2, right, definitely 171 pips, which is over 1:5. Going towards, I think, 1:6, which is a very good trade. So definitely this is what we're going to be looking at for this new week. So if you find this video very educative enough, you can subscribe to our channel at No Bad Trade. Follow us on our Instagram at No Bad Trades. You can subscribe to our Instagram at No Bad Trade, on our YouTube channel at No Bad Trade Forex, actually, and our Instagram at No Bad Trade. And you can like, you can share this, and you can even just do something, and engage. This is the reason why we do this. So thank you guys so much. Stay careful on the market this week. Always wait for confirmation, and always remember, we as traders don't speculate based on how we feel the market should move, but we only react based on the information the market is giving us. What does this mean for this setup that